In a time before Abraham, the world was a vastly different place. People were entrenched in the practice of polytheism, worshipping idols made of stone and wood, attributing divine power to these lifeless figures. The cities were filled with artisans like Terah, who made a living selling these idols, reinforcing the faith of the people in these false gods. It was a time of spiritual darkness, where the concept of monotheism was alien and ridiculed. The sun, the moon, and the stars were seen as entities in themselves, not as creations of a greater power. The people lived in blissful ignorance, content with their beliefs, oblivious to the profound truth that a young boy named Abraham would one day uncover. This was the world Abraham was born into, a world he would challenge and ultimately change with his unwavering faith in one God. This is the beginning of our story, the story of a man who dared to question, dared to believe, and dared to change the world. As the son of an idol maker, young Abraham was constantly surrounded by the very symbols of polytheism he would grow to reject. He watched as his father crafted these idols, and as people bowed down to them in reverence. It was a sight that perplexed him, for he saw no life, no power in these carved figures. He began to question, to seek the truth beyond these lifeless idols. One day, as he observed the celestial bodies, the sun, the moon, the stars, he was struck by a profound realization. These celestial bodies, so vast and powerful, were not gods themselves, but creations of a higher power. This sparked a revolution in his heart, kindling the flame of monotheism. He began to believe in a single, omnipotent God who was the creator of everything. But with this newfound belief came a heavy burden. Abraham found himself alone in his convictions, ostracized by his own people who were deeply entrenched in polytheism. Yet he held steadfast, his faith standing as firm as a mountain against the winds of ridicule and isolation. Little did he know that this was just the beginning, that his faith would soon be put to the ultimate test. In the midst of ridicule and isolation, God's voice echoed in Abraham's heart, presenting him with a divine test that would stretch his faith to its limits. "Leave your homeland," God commanded, "and the people who refuse to see the truth." As daunting as this command was, Abraham did not hesitate. He gathered his wife Sarah and his nephew Lot and prepared to embark on a journey into the unknown. It was a journey that would take them away from all that was familiar and towards a promise of a land that God would show them. This was not just a physical journey, but a spiritual one as well. It was an exodus from a land of idol worship to a land promised by the one true God. The journey was hard, fraught with uncertainties and perils. Yet Abraham, Sarah, and Lot pushed forward, their faith unwavering, their spirits indomitable. This journey was a testament to Abraham's steadfast faith, a faith that remained unshaken even in the face of the greatest trials. The exodus of faith was a pivotal moment in Abraham's life, marking the beginning of his journey towards becoming the patriarch of monotheism. As Abraham and his family journeyed towards the promised land, their faith was tested in the most unimaginable way. God's voice echoed once again in Abraham's heart, commanding him to sacrifice his beloved son Isaac. The command was shocking, a test of faith so profound that it would shake the very foundations of anyone's belief. However, Abraham, with the same steadfast faith that had guided him so far, prepared to obey God's command. With a heavy heart, he took Isaac to Mount Moriah, built an altar, and laid his son upon it. As he raised his hand to perform the sacrifice, his heart was torn between his love for his son and his unwavering faith in God. Yet he did not falter. But at the last moment, God's voice rang out once more, stopping Abraham's hand. God had seen Abraham's unwavering obedience and faith and provided a ram as a substitute for the sacrifice. This was the ultimate demonstration of Abraham's faith. Even when faced with the most difficult of tests, he remained obedient and faithful to God's commands. This act of obedience and faith further solidified Abraham's place as the patriarch of monotheism. A man whose faith was so strong, it could withstand even the most unimaginable of tests. As we delve deeper into the story of Abraham, we see a man who faced numerous trials and tribulations, but never wavered in his faith. Each challenge he faced, he met with unwavering belief and an unbreakable spirit. He was ridiculed and ostracized by those who believed in the power of idols, yet he stood firm. He was cast into a fiery furnace by King Nimrod, yet he emerged unscathed, his faith only burning brighter. His faith was not a quiet, passive thing. It was a living, breathing, vibrant force that guided him through every trial and tribulation he faced. It was his compass in the storm, his beacon in the night. It was the fire that warmed him in the cold, the shield that protected him from harm. And it was this faith, this unwavering belief in the power of one God that defined him, shaped him, and ultimately saved him. Abraham's story teaches us that faith can be our guiding light in the face of adversity. It reminds us to stand tall, to be resilient, and to meet every challenge with courage and conviction. Each trial we face is an opportunity for growth, a chance to strengthen our faith, and to prove our resilience. So remember, when you face your own trials and tribulations, hold on to your faith, face your challenges with courage, and always strive to be the best version of yourself, just like Abraham.